This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good morning. Time now is 4:27. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Breaking news overnight. There's been a double shooting on the west side. One person dead. Another person was critically injured.
Yeah, this all happened around 2:30 this morning on the city's west side on 29th Street. One man was shot dead. Another injured. Police still investigating this morning as to what happened. This first came in as a shots fired call. And when they arrived, they found those two men. We will continue to gather more information, and once we find out, we will bring it to you. We do want to get a check at the weather now. We had more rainfall. It was raining already this morning, and we're going to see more rain today.
Yeah, you know, the good news is the rain shouldn't be as widespread today as it was yesterday, and rain chances kind of decrease as the day goes on. So as we start off the day today, you are looking at Storm Team 6 radar, and you see there's still a few downpours out there. I was woken up overnight by a thunderstorm that rolled through, and then there was a quick little downpour on my way into work as well. And with the humidity that's still around, we could flare these up pretty quickly this morning. You notice the temperatures are currently in the 60s and 70s. Temperatures today really don't do a whole lot throughout the course of the day. We only get back up to right around 75 degrees. So we'll call for some morning downpours and then just a few spotty showers here this afternoon. Those should all be pretty light, but the National Weather Service still does maintain that flash flood watch. So there still could be some flooding here across the area, and that's probably our biggest concern as far as the weather goes today.
All right, Todd, thank you. And farmers not happy with this forecast.
Yeah, our Aaron Lish is going to be taking a closer look at the impact all of this rain is having on farmers. They haven't been able to plant a majority of their crops. It's causing a big headache for them. So we're going to look at the impact on both farmers and consumers this morning.
Yeah, not helpful for their bottom line and eventually not good for ours either. And finally, it's Thursday, so that means it is Throwback Thursday, and we are looking back to 1979. Now, our Derek Thomas is celebrating 40 years here at RTV6 and will be retiring at the end of the month. So we're going to look back at one of his stories where he profiles an Indy cab driver. Do you know what a cab driver is? Are you familiar with one in the age of Uber and Lyft? Well, this man that he profiles had been working as a cab driver for about 30 years at the time. So we're going to ride along with them as we look back at one of Derek's stories here. We also have plenty of news, weather, and traffic to start your morning off here on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Heavy rain continues to hammer parts of the Hoosier State. Straight ahead, the startling number of water rescues one county says they've had to make.
Plus, health officials raid a Northside apartment complex in the spotlight for dismal living conditions. Straight ahead, where city leaders say the process goes from here.
And the deadline is approaching to get your child access to free college tuition. We'll show you the program that could change a student's life and why you need to act right now. Thanks for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Nicole Griffin.
And I'm Meredith Barrett. Meteorologist Todd Clausen here. A broken record once again. More rain.
Yeah, you know, I think our wettest day is behind us. We said all week that was going to be yesterday. And boy, yesterday that rain came in the afternoon, and it was a big time issue for us once again. We've had some spotty downpours throughout the overnight hours, and you can still see on Storm Team 6 radar, we do have some areas of rain, especially as you work your way here over towards the Crawfordsville area, just north of Veedersburg. There's that heavy downpour, some little downpours over towards Bainbridge, and as we slide off towards the east here, just a minute ago there was a downpour, and that just shows you just in the past 5 minutes when I set the point here on the map, there was a downpour there and it's faded away. So that's the thing that we deal with throughout the course of the morning hours. We can flare these downpours up really quickly. They put down a copious amount of rain pretty quick, and then they kind of just fade away. And you notice the bulk of the rainfall this morning is in northern locations, and what we have going on is finally this area of low pressure is going to push off towards the east, and that's going to give us a break finally from the rainfall heading into the day tomorrow. So it's not as wet as it was yesterday, but there are still some shower chances in the forecast here throughout the day today. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. It's really muggy out there still with all this rain that we've seen, and temperatures today as a whole really don't do much at all. We only get back up into the low to mid 70s later on this afternoon, and that might even be pushing it. So the better storm chances will be this morning, and then it's just a stray shower chance as that cooler air comes in later on this afternoon. The time now is 4:31. Let's get a first look at traffic on this Thursday morning.
All right, Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look outside right now at our INDOT traffic camera, I-465 at Ditch Road. We show you this camera every morning. That is because this is an area that typically gets backed up over and over again. So if you travel through this area, you know you need to give yourself some extra time. Let's take a turn now looking at another one of our traffic cameras. This is I-465 at I-74, US 136 there on the west side. A different story there. Traffic seems to be moving just fine as you head out the door this morning. Breaking overnight, one man is dead and another was in critical condition this morning following a shooting on the city's west side. The shooting happened around 2:30 this morning near West 29th Street and Barnes Avenue. Police have not released anything surrounding a suspect or what led up to this shooting, but as soon as we learn new information, we will pass it along to you.
Overnight rain and storms not helping flooding problems across southern parts of our state. This is a look in Jackson County where the sheriff says 15 to 20 roads are closed because of high water. Tuesday, officials had to rescue a stranded driver from Michigan. Sheriff Rick Meyer says all of the rain has led to multiple agencies across Jackson County doing dozens of water rescues.
We have good relationships with both of those, and we all work together and do our best to save lives. You know, we've had 21 since June 1st, and luckily nobody has been injured or died. And I would say our odds are probably getting slim that eventually something bad's going to happen.
State conservation officers near Seymour say in the last 3 days they've had to rescue 3 people, a fawn, and a dog. Brown County State Park and its lodge will remain closed through the weekend. DNR officials announcing on Wednesday heavy rainfall is still having an impact on drinking water in the park. Officials say there is still too much sediment from heavy rains coming into its water system to allow production of potable water. The park's water source is Lake Ogle, which is on park property. People with reservations for camping or lodging inside the park are being issued refunds or moved to other state parks with space. With more rain expected in the days ahead, you will want to keep an eye on the weather section of the IndyChannel.com. And don't forget, you can also get location-based alerts from Storm Team 6 on the Storm Shield app.
It's a story only RTV6 has been following and staying on top of for months. After complaints of mold, broken windows, and ignored requests for help, the Marion County Public Health Department sent investigators door to door at the Lakeside Point at Nora Apartments on Wednesday. It was a response to a large number of housing complaints and cases in recent months. RTV6's reporting got the attention of local representatives who are speaking out for the first time about the conditions at this complex.
Our job is just to make sure everybody stays engaged until there's some sort of resolution here so that our neighbors can live in humane conditions.
The health department's work is not done quite yet. They will go through all of the information collected on Wednesday and decide if more violation orders need to be issued. We are told that could happen by next week.
Investigators are looking into whether an animal rights group activist persuaded employees at Fair Oaks Farm to abuse animals. The Newton County prosecutor says a witness supports allegations from a suspect claiming an undercover employee with the Animal Recovery Mission encouraged the abuse. The group's founder calls the allegations ridiculous and absurd. The farm in Northwest Indiana continues to face backlash after the organization released video of the abuse.
A death investigation is underway at a northeastern Indiana ethanol plant. Investigators in Wells County say 42-year-old Ryan West of Bainbridge, Ohio, died after becoming trapped in a piece of equipment. The incident happened at the Valero Renewable Fuels plant in Bluffton, south of Fort Wayne. A Valero spokesperson says West was employed by a vendor. Indiana State Police are now investigating this incident.
This morning, Muncie police are trying to figure out why 2 teenagers didn't hear or see a freight train at a south side crossing early Wednesday morning. Authorities say a 17-year-old girl and an 18-year-old man were hit by the train at West 23rd and Liberty Street just before 6:30. Police say the pair was walking in the area. The girl suffered serious head injuries and was flown to an Indianapolis hospital. The man was not seriously hurt.
Covering education this morning, an important deadline is coming up for 7th and 8th grade students considering college. Families have until June 30th to fill out a 21st Century Scholar application. There are income eligibility requirements, but if you don't apply, you cannot receive benefits. If you're not familiar with 21st Century Scholars, recipients receive up to 4 years of college tuition at any participating college or university. 14-year-old Ryan McMillan has already applied. While the program lifts a huge financial burden off families, Ryan's mother says it helps students in other ways that are important.
There are some components of the program that kind of shift the responsibility onto my daughter, some things that she's going to have to take care of in order to be continually eligible every year. And I think that's fantastic in that it matures her in her responsibility.
Some of the guidelines for 21st Century Scholars include maintaining a 2.5 grade point average and pledging not to use illegal drugs or alcohol or commit crimes or delinquent acts while in school. For more information, go to scholars.in.gov.
After a day of criticism from several 2020 presidential candidates, Joe Biden isn't backing down from controversial comments. Straight ahead, why the former vice president says it should be another candidate issuing an apology.
Plus, this isn't something you'd expect to see at a Little League baseball game. Up next, what these parents were fighting over. Todd.
And as we go throughout the day today, rain chances are still present in the forecast. However, the showers will become less numerous as the day goes on. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:38. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We're here on RTV 6.
Models, now with the People First warranty.
Welcome back. It is 4:41, and this is a live look at I-465 at US 36 State Road 67, the Pendleton Pike area on the northeast side. Not too many cars out there, but because of all that rain, there is standing water on the roadways. You need to be aware of that as you take to the roads this morning.
On the Democracy 2020 front, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg is weighing in on criticism that he should step down from his mayoral position in the last 6 months of his final term. The criticism comes as South Bend deals with a deadly police shooting. Buttigieg has suspended his campaign following the shooting. He says, like presidents, his job as a mayor requires a lot of balance.
Mayors, like presidents, have to do many things at once, but we're working to make sure that the balance is appropriate.
Buttigieg has not said when he'll resume his campaign, but he is scheduled to attend a dinner in Boston this evening.
A defiant Joe Biden refusing calls to apologize for comments he made about finding common ground with the senator who supported segregation. The controversy also underscoring the challenge Biden faces as he works to use his decades in Washington to his advantage. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi reports from Washington.
This morning, former Vice President Joe Biden not apologizing for his remarks about his early days in the Senate. At a New York fundraiser Tuesday, Biden recalled a time when Congress was able to get things done with, quote, civility, even when it meant finding common ground with segregationist senators.
I disagreed with the views of the segregationists. The point I'm making is you don't have to agree.
Biden's words falling flat and receiving sharp rebukes from his 2020 Democratic rivals.
But to coddle the reputations of segregationists, of people who, if they had their way, I would literally not be standing here as a member of the United States Senate, is, I think, it's misinformed and it's wrong.
Senator Kamala Harris's comments followed by Senator Cory Booker's call on CNN for Biden to apologize.
And I'm simply saying that for him not to acknowledge how many people are taking this as hurtful.
Biden then responding by defending his record.
Apologize for what?
Cory Booker's called for it.
Cory should apologize. He knows better. There's not a racist bone in my body. I've been involved in civil rights my whole career. Period.
More than half a dozen members of the Congressional Black Caucus also coming to Biden's defense, including House Minority Whip Jim Clyburn, the highest-ranking African-American in Congress, who said in an interview with Politico, quote, "I worked with Strom Thurmond all my life. You don't have to agree with people to work with them." And all of this coming ahead of the first Democratic primary debate in Miami next week. Mona Kosar Abdi, ABC News, Washington.
A new UN report says there was, quote, sufficient credible evidence Saudi Arabia's crown prince bears responsibility for the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The Indiana State and Washington Post columnist, Indiana State grad and Washington Post columnist was killed last October after entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Saudi officials originally claimed a group of rogue operators belonging to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Inner Circle were responsible. The nation's attorney general eventually admitted the murder was premeditated. The UN's report does not specifically say the Saudi crown prince or king are guilty of a crime.
Authorities now say Boston Red Sox slugger David Ortiz was not the intended target of a shooting in his hometown earlier this month. Ortiz was in a crowded bar in Santo Domingo when a gunman approached him and opened fire at close range. The target was apparently one of Ortiz's friends. The mastermind behind the hit wanted his cousin killed for ratting him out to police. Authorities say he arranged it from the U.S. The gunman is one of 11 who have been arrested in connection with the shooting. Several others, including the mastermind, remain at large.
They started out throwing baseballs and ended up throwing punches. Several injuries were reported at a youth baseball game in Lakewood, Colorado. It was a game involving 7-year-olds, but it wasn't the kids who were fighting. The Lakewood Police Department says coaches and parents unhappy with a baseball game involving 7-year-olds and a 13-year-old umpire took over the field and began assaulting each other. 4 people were charged with disorderly conduct and fighting in public. Thankfully, no children were hurt. It is 4:45. Let's get over to Todd. Todd, not as many storms in the forecast today, right?
Yeah, they're not going to be as widespread, and they shouldn't be as heavy as they were yesterday, so that is good news. There is some improvement in the forecast finally here going forward. With that said, though, you probably still want to just have that umbrella close here throughout the day today, as we'll be able to flare up a quick passing shower or two almost at any point. Here's what's going on right now. Storm Team 6 radar at 446. Pretty good downpour near Linden, one just north of Waynetown, and Crawfordsville as well. We'll come a little further to the south, and there's a shower passing just off to the west of Danville there as you work north of Bainbridge right along Indiana 236. We'll slide off towards the east. There's a little downpour just now to the east of Knightstown, and then as we look up to the north, there's a few more scattered showers making their way up through the Lafayette and Monticello area. So the coverage of the rain isn't all that great here this morning, but we can flare up these showers pretty quickly. So it's not out of the question for your morning commute. You could go through a quick little downpour, then you'll be out of it. But we are all dealing with warm and muggy conditions this morning across the area as this area of low pressure is just slowly making its way out of central Indiana. You notice the steady rain is to our north in Michigan. So what's going to happen is as this area of low pressure starts to make its way off towards the east, we're going to turn our winds northwesterly, and that's going to bring in some cooler air. In fact, our temperatures today won't really warm much at all throughout the day today. And what that cooler air does, unlike this morning where you have these warm and muggy conditions, as that cooler air comes in, that too could start to flare up an isolated shower or two. So we will have to maintain a shower chance through the afternoon hours, but they're very light, they're very spotty, probably not heavy enough to aggravate the flooding situation that we have in many locations this morning across central Indiana. But just don't be surprised even this evening if there's a quick passing shower as the cooler air starts to make its way into the forecast. Here's the view or lack thereof of Monument Circle here this morning. You can see we're still dealing with the low overcast sky. The humidity is out there. The temperatures sit in the 60s and 70s currently. So as we work our way throughout the day today, these temperatures really don't move much at all. We have the chance of a rumble of thunder here this morning. No threat of severe weather, though, throughout the day today. And then as we work our way into the afternoon, we get back up into the low 70s, mostly cloudy skies. Again, the chance of a stray shower is in the forecast. Now, as we work our way into the day tomorrow, there's some improvement in the forecast. We actually have a good amount of sunshine, at least to start the day tomorrow, with partly cloudy skies. Temperatures get up close to 80 degrees. I do think there will be the chance tomorrow of a quick passing thunderstorm. With that said, I don't need you to cancel plans yet tomorrow, because unlike the past few days when the thunderstorms were really numerous across the area, tomorrow it's more of a weak little front that comes through. So it's just going to be this little band of rain that'll try to slide through the area tomorrow. tomorrow evening. If you do see it, it is not going to last very long, and then it will be on its way. So tomorrow's mainly a dry day for us at 80 degrees. The humidity comes back up through the weekend. In fact, as we get to Sunday, close to 90 degrees. With the humidity, it's going to feel even warmer. But with the heat and humidity will come a return of showers and storms in the forecast for the weekend. The time now, 4:49. Here's another look at the roadways.
All right, Todd, this is I-465 at State Road 37 Harding Street. You can see a little bit more traffic in this area this morning. We want to take a turn now to I-65 at I-465 on the northwest side. A little difficult to see there. It looks like there might be a stalled car on the roadway. We'll work to figure out what is going on there. But once again, there is standing water out and about on the roads due to all the rain, so just be cautious as you hit the roads.
Children heading to summer camp may have to first stop at the doctor's office for vaccinations. More camps are urging families to follow vaccination policies in the wake of the measles outbreak across the U.S. Nearly 1,100 measles cases have been reported nationwide so far this year. Some camps require all participants to be vaccinated against measles, even children of parents who have religious objections. A camp's decision to accept such exemptions typically depends on what its state requirement is for schools. Well, are you a Harry Potter fan? Straight ahead, how a new smartphone game will bring you even closer to the wizarding world.
Plus, a new project in Delphi will forever memorialize Abby Williams and Libby German. Coming up at 5, how you can help get the memorial off the ground.
I'm Vinny Politan. Today on Court TV, the drama is building inside a courtroom in South Carolina. Michael Colucci's been charged in the death of his wife, and the state has rested. They've presented all their evidence. So now it's the defense's turn, and the question is, will Michael Colucci get up on the witness stand and tell the jury that he's not responsible for the death of his wife? We're also live in Orlando as we get ready for the next big trial here on Court TV involving the abduction and death of a nanny. We've got all that for you today on Court TV.
Don't forget, you can watch the all-new Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
Mile warranty at Honda of Fishers.
Witchcraft from the world of Harry Potter will soon be available on your cell phones. A new Harry Potter mobile game titled Wizards Unite rolls out in the U.S. tomorrow. It's an augmented reality game that makes fictional characters appear on people's phones as if they existed in the real Muggle world. Users will play the roles of wizards whose tasks include casting spells and teleporting themselves. The game itself is free, but players will have the option to buy currency in the game using real money.
That's why I have tomorrow off, Nicole. I'm going to download that and play that all day long.
You're going to be busy.
Just kidding. A runner from Louisiana is breaking records and winning gold medals, and we probably should mention she's 103 years old. Julia Hawkins started running at the age of 101. Since then, she's made a name for herself, breaking the world record for her age group. Actually, she does have a nickname as well, Hurricane Hawkins. She recently competed in the Senior Games in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where she set a new record for the 50-meter dash and took gold in the 100-meter dash. She says she wants people to know it is never too late to get moving. You go, girl.
All right. Well, the Jeopardy champion who won more than $2 million is honoring the host of the game show. James Holzhauer donated a portion of his winnings to a Chicago area pancreatic cancer walk in Alex Trebek's name. An organizer for the 2019 Naperville Pancreatic Cancer Walk said Holzhauer sent for a donation for more than $1,100. With the donation, he wrote the message for Alex Trebek and all other survivors. Back in March, Trebek shared with the public that he is battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He has since said he's near remission.
Amazing.
What a great thing to do.
All right, Todd. Something that is not very amazing is the forecast. Once again, we need to get through about the next 24 hours, and then we'll see a little more sunshine.
Yeah, you know, it's been a rough go of it. I've heard the complaints. I've seen the rainfall, and it's still going on out there right now in some spots. Although it's pretty spotty here this morning. Some downpours near Lafayette over towards Brownsburg. As we go throughout the day today, there will be the chance of some light spotty showers here and there. Nothing major. But tomorrow's mainly a dry day for us. There could be some spotty storms late in the day on Friday, but the daytime hours should be in decent shape. Enjoy Friday because the storms come back over the weekend as well as the heat and the humidity. The time now is 4:57. Stay with us. We'll be right back.